Ferryhill is situated 538 feet above sea level and spans either side of the Great North Road. The town is built on a limestone escarpment and is 12 miles north of Darlington and 25 miles south of Newcastle. The town started life as an agricultural settlement and remained that way until the start of the 20th century, when mining took over as the main industry. In the early 1970s the two main mines both closed, and with the exception of some small industry and the shopping centre, Ferryhill has returned to its original status as an agricultural area. Prior to the 13th century, Ferryhill was known by a few different names, one of which was Fergine, that translates into a village or settlement on a wooded hill or mound. During the Battle of the Butcher's Race, the English were encamped on the ridge between Kirkmerrington and Ferryhill, under the orders of Captain Ferrier. It is said that the English campfires could be seen by the Scots from their camp on the hills south of Durham, therefore could see Ferrier on the hill. It is also assumed that Ferryhill could have taken its name from the soldiers, who made their camp approximately where the postboy now stands, and local people who may have wanted to honour Captain Ferrier. During the 1560s, 4 men from Ferryhill were hanged for taking part in the rebellion against the Elizabethan church settlement in Durham. Ferryhill was split in two during the Charles I Parliament Civil War, when men from Ferryhill fought for both sides. The people therefore suffered persecution and plundering, as both sides passed through the village. A Mr. Lawrence Brock suffered £220 worth of damage from Royalist troops. In 1660, Parliament won the war, and Captain John Shaw had his estates seized. Prior to 1829, anyone wishing to attend church would have had to travel by horse and cart or by foot to Merrington. To attend church, bearing in mind that the road, if it could be called that, would have been nothing more than a dirt track. There is also a possibility that this road could have followed the old Roman road from Binchester to the coast at Hartlepool, and therefore may have been more substantial. In 1829, St Luke's Church was built in the marketplace approximately where the town hall now stands. and on the 15th of July 1843 Ferryhill parish was formed as it split from the parish of Kirkmerrington. In 1846 land was bought from Thomas Arrowsmith for £300 by the Deanon chapter. The vicarage was built, and in 1852 work started to remove the church and rebuild it next to the vicarage in Back Lane, and by 1853 was again completed. The vicar at the time was the Reverend J. Williams. In 1866 renovation work was carried out to the cost of £173, and the remaining stone was used to build the town hall, which was completed in 1867. During storms in 1903, the bell tower, which had housed 2 bells, fell into the church, causing extensive damage, was rebuilt as a single bell tower at a cost of £500. Prior to and throughout the 18th century, the River Skerne ran through the valley to the east of Ferryhill. At this time there were no bridges across the river, only fords. The ones at Mainsforth and Cornforth over the main river, and over the tributaries at Redhall, East Howell, Thinford and Rushy Ford. Other fords were in use at the time, but were situated away from the main settlement areas. There was a bridge over one of the small tributaries at Bridge House Estate. It is said that at Ferryhill Station a ferry crossing was in use. This ran from the ferrymaster's boathouse on the east bank, known as Swan House, to the west bank, somewhere south of the cottage. It is also thought that the house took its name from the swans, which were kept for the Prince Bishops on the lake adjacent to the cottage. In the 13th century, a wild boar was terrorising the people of the county. A declaration was made for a reward to be offered for the slaying of the boar and on production of its head. A number of people tried and failed until a nobleman by the name of Roger de Hodge set upon the tracking and eventually the slaying of the boar, near to the site of the inscribed tablet at Cleves Cross. During repairs to the farm at Cleves Cross in 1867, a pit was discovered. This pit was inspected by Mr. James Dodds, a well-known historian of the time. Mr. James Dodds claimed that because of the age of the pit it was very likely that this would be where the boar was lured before being trapped and slaughtered by Roger de Ferry.